Hey, it's Drybear. If you liked Lethal Company or indie games like it, then you might find that content warning is right up your alley. So today we're going to go through everything that you need to know to get started in content warning. And while I normally don't like categorizing games by other game titles, I would think it's fair to say that content warning is Lethal Company adjacent, in that you have 3 days to finish and fill a quota with your team of yourself and up to 3 other players for a total of 4. You'll dive into a monster-infested area with a limited amount of oxygen that serves as a timer for you. Capture engaging footage that you can return and upload to SpöökTube, and based on the amount of views you get, you will get ad revenue and you will rest for the next day, and your goal is to finish or fill the quota before the 3 days are up. But there are several new mechanics in content warning that make it stand on its own. You'll wake up in this farmhouse, make sure everyone is in and loaded before you open the front door, because this will lock the server and to make it closed for new players to join. Then make sure you grab your video recorder and whatever flashlights and equipment you want to bring with you, jump into Drybear and dive down into the old world. And your goal is to create as engaging of content as possible, and I've been testing the algorithm a good bit on what it deems engaging and interesting. And while I don't have an exact algorithm or formula for you, I will give you at least what I've learned and observed by trying to test out the system. Whoever's holding the camera can left click on PC to start recording, and they can hit R in order to flip it to selfie mode so they can face it towards themselves and talk to the camera to do a vlog style. You can toggle the recording on and off, and at the very end it will stitch all of your short recordings together into a final video that you'll upload to the SpöökTube. As far as I can tell, the algorithm tends to favor well-lit characters that are fully in frame. You have a zoom feature where you can zoom in and out, and of course when you're doing the selfie mode, you'll be fully in front of that. But if I found monsters that I didn't fully light up with a flashlight, or I was too far away, or they were in the shadows, and that didn't give me as many views or ad revenue as I would have expected from the previous times where I had gotten closer to the monster or closer to the object. Generally, motion is your best friend. You can actually take footage of the spinning wheels or gears inside of the factories, any pumps or pistons that are moving along as well, and anything interesting includes natural hazards like lasers, which, by the way, all of these are considered hazards and will actually damage you or kill you if you run through them. In most cases, the lasers are an instant kill, and the wheels will do a bunch of damage to you and knock you back. Outside of that, you want a high variety of things you're taking footage of, so don't find a single thing, like a single enemy, and expend all of your footage amount with that one single subject, because you won't get as much value out of that for the total upload. You have a total amount of film for the video camera, and without mods, you only have one video camera. So generally, as you get better at the game, you want to take advantage of holding on to as much footage as you can. And once your footage is done, you may as well leave, because you won't be able to get any more value out of the level. And again, motion is your best friend. So switching to selfie mode, turning the light on, and running while you're running away from the enemy will give you good spook footage. Filming your friends running away or getting knocked back, or even your friends dying, can be valuable. Filming your friends' bodies where they landed, or any of the actions and motions of the monsters as well. It also seems like the microphone is a positive add to the footage. It doesn't go up by a whole lot, but it is valuable to have voices and speaking inside of the footage that you turn in at the end of the round. Inside of the old world for each run, you will randomly find items strewn about the level that spawn at random times, and the enemies spawn at random times as well. So you want to make sure you're constantly rechecking areas in case a new enemy has spawned or an item has spawned behind you. You're down in the old world until you run out of footage or you run out of oxygen, so keep a close eye on your oxygen meter in the bottom left. When that starts getting low, you want to head back to the Drybear and return to base. If you don't do this in time, anyone who's still down in the old world when the oxygen runs out will die, and you will see a meter on the back of all of your teammates that shows the oxygen level, and this is a global value. When you're all out of footage, head back to the bell, come back to base, and then right to the left of the diving bell when you exit is going to be your footage turn in location. Just press Q to drop the camera inside of the bin, and a CD will pop out. You'll take this CD, walk it inside, and turn it into the TV, and you can watch a summary of all the footage you collected, and then you can either watch the whole thing or close it. It will give you an estimate of the amount of views that it got and the money that you got, and then you'll progress the day by going upstairs and having all players inside of the lobby lay down in bed to progress it forward. Then your days for the quota will decrement, and you'll have the remaining time to turn in more footage in order to meet quota. But there's a cool thing that makes content warning different. Unlike Lethal Company, where if everyone dies, anything on board, anything you're carrying is lost and you're permanently punished for that, this game treats it as found footage. The map is fixed for each quota, and you will be able to return to the same map and go to where you died. You will find a broken video camera that has the footage that you found last round right there in that same exact spot. If you take this broken video camera, bring it back to base with you with the new video camera and turn them both in, you'll get 2 new CDs, you'll be able to watch both the videos, and you'll get value for them. So even if you and your entire team die one of the days, just rest and go back to that same spot, recover your footage, and you can turn it in and still get value for it. Items that have batteries have a charge. You can use them during the round, and you can also recharge them at this charge tower right next to the dive bell. All you have to do is walk near it. You'll see these blue particles run towards you, and all of your battery items will be recharged. Once you've stacked up enough money, you can start using the shop, which is just outside of the barn right here, and just use your cursor to move around and select the items that you need. Lights are pretty self-explanatory, but remember, you do get better value, views, and ad revenue when you have subjects that are well lit. So as you get better and move further on your quota, you will want to start getting these flashlights that are higher quality. There's 2 different types here. There's the modern flashlight and then the long flashlight. The modern flashlight serves more like a floodlight where it will fill the area in front of you with a lot of light, and the long flashlight works from a further distance. There's something that's far off in the distance that you don't want to get too close to because it's too dangerous. You can use the long flashlight and have someone else zoom in with the camera and still get good footage of that target. The hugger allows you to heal another person, and currently this has no limitation. You can use this infinitely as long as the other person comes near you. While you're pressing left click to activate the item, you will slowly recover their HP. Then you can drop the item and swap, and they can do the same to you. Defibrillators allow you to resurrect dead teammates, and again, this currently has no limitation. You can infinitely resurrect them as long as you can make it to their body without dying yourself. You can defib this person that you're running to as well. Gadgets serve all kinds of purpose. You can use goo balls and the shock stick to defend yourself against enemies. Goo balls will create a big gooey field in front of you that will slow all movement of anything passing through it, yourself, your teammates, or enemies. So if there's an enemy that's quite dangerous, you can slow them down with the goo ball and then move around them. The shock stick is a taser on a stick that you can use on your teammates, and they'll just get right back up, or on an enemy if you want to disable them. And currently this works on most enemies except for some of the most dangerous types, which are immune to the taser effect. The other 4 gadgets are a little bit less straightforward in that they will just generally add more view and revenue to your videos as you use them in the footage. The reporter mic you just want to hold, and if you're clear in view holding the reporter mic, it can add value to the video itself. The clapper can also be used for action, and the motion of this item can also add to it. The boom mic will allow you to amplify sound of anything that's near the boom mic, and this even works as kind of like an intercom where anything near the boom mic will be played and broadcast to anyone that's on the team currently. So you can actually use this as sort of radio if you'd like. The sound player will play sound clips and other sounds that you can use in the footage, and again, this will just add production value and overall value to your footage that you bring back. There's also a bunch of emotes in here, and generally loosely based on their price, they will add more value to your video as well if you're caught on footage using the emote in some interesting way. Again, motion is super useful. You have 2 different categories, emote 1 and emote 2. There's even thumbnail ones here which can be useful, and again, just using these in front of the camera in your footage can add more value to it. And then you have cheap party poppers, which have a minimal effect on the value of the footage, but they are nice and fun to use. When it comes to emotes, you only have a single emote slot that by default is T on PC, but when you use these items in the store, you'll get a book that you'll consume. When the book is consumed, it replaces your active emote slot, so when you press T, whatever your book you recently consumed, that will now be your new emote, and you will override it by using a new emote, so you generally just want to have one for each person in the party. Next, let's talk about self-defense and keeping yourself alive on the run. For the most part, your best defense is going to be running away and then using the camera while you are, so you can keep footage of what's going on and add to the value of the footage you're collecting. However, you can throw items by pressing Q. By default, they'll drop like this, and they have a little bit of force to them, but you can, and this is quite useful, hold down Q, you'll see a vibration happening on the screen, and then you'll throw the item further away. Some of the enemies you face will not be dislodged or knocked back if you simply throw the item at them, but if you charge it up the whole way until the very end, then throw it, you'll be able to knock back or disable some of the enemies for some of the actions they're doing. The most common one is going to be the slurpers or the starfish on the ceiling. When they grab a player, there's not many ways for that player to release themselves from the slurper's grasp. And so a teammate needs to fully charge a throw and hit the bottom of the tongue of the slurper in order to dislodge them and drop them down back to the floor. Your next best is going to be having at least one, if not more people in the group that have a shock stick that can disable enemies that get too close or become a problem. Some of the enemies, if they're not disabled or crowd controlled, they will just wipe your entire group. Some of the enemies are melee only, and so using goo balls on top of staircases or really tight corridors can help you get away from them quite easily. And your next best weapon is going to be knowledge. If you want me to do a full, like, all enemies guide, let me know down below in the comments, but a brief rundown is that most enemies can be dealt with by just running away or keeping your distance and trying to get footage at a very safe range. Slurpers must be dislodged with either a shock stick or a thrown item at them if they've grabbed a teammate. Eye guys, which have these 3 large eyes, are harmless as long as no one shines a light on them. Weeping, or the cages, only move when no one is looking at them, and this includes behind walls as well. And if someone gets captured, someone will have to walk up and do the capture correctly in order to release them before the timer runs out. Snatchos will be blown away by light, so these long spindly arm mongoose looking things, if they get too close to you, just put a light on them until they fade away, and then just keep aware that they are near you. Keep in mind they will drop an item if they touch you, which means that they will actually cause you to lose your flashlight if you're by yourself. And that's everything you need to know to get started in content warning. I hope you have fun. If you found value in today's video, leave a like down below, leave a comment for the algorithm to help this video get seen by more people, and don't forget to check out my other channels for other content and other stuff and other things.